Tonight, a top basketball recruit for the Memphis Tigers basketball team is facing serious criminal charges. The San Diego Sheriff's Department confirmed five-star recruit Mikey Williams faces 5 charges of assault with a deadly weapon.
Mikey Williams, once considered a one-and-done college player, is currently in his sophomore campaign at Sacramento State. Projected as a first-round pick in high school, this is the turbulent career of Mikey Williams. I would like to start this by saying I do think he has first-round talent, but it may take another season or two of college basketball to elevate his draft stock to where it once was. Mikey's rise to fame began in middle school. He was one of the top middle school prospects. He showed all the tools to be considered the #1 8th grader in the nation. Mikey took over the mixtape world and became nearly a celebrity by the time he reached high school. He wasn't just a regular kid or recruit, he was a brand. His social media presence began to grow exponentially, gaining over 3 million followers during his adolescent years. While his hometown is listed as San Diego, Mikey's game traveled all throughout high school, playing in several states and playing well. The aggression was unmatched. The high-flying guard was regularly at the rim with highlight reel dunks. By the time his senior year rolled around, he had returned to San Diego and inked a deal with Excel Sports Management, the first deal of its kind, the introduction of the NIL. No prep player at that point had experienced the NIL economy. Having to mature fast, Mikey's future was already being negotiated, and his likeness was seen to have potential to generate millions in revenue. No surprise, the most popular player in high school whose game was electrifying would be sought after. The conversations changed around Mikey. His market value was skyrocketing, and brands knew he was almost guaranteed for the NBA spotlight. By November of 2022, Mikey committed to the University of Memphis and the cultural icon Penny Hardaway. Mikey at that point was one of the top-ranked guards in the country and set to become the next great guard for the university, where Derrick Rose famously had his one-and-done season at. He was expected to bring the university back to prominence, but things took a turn just 5 months later. In April 2023, the senior guard was arrested in San Diego on felony charges. It was alleged that the phenom fired shots at the vehicle near his home. The 18-year-old was facing multiple felonies and a lengthy prison sentence if convicted. No injuries were reported, but the damage had already been done to his reputation. Puma separated itself from Mikey. His lawyer had to put out a message to reiterate Mikey's innocence. Williams would eventually take a plea deal and begin his uphill battle with fixing his reputation. The NBA forgives, but repeated behavior becomes difficult to look over, especially in a league where elite players are coming each and every year in the draft. It is easy to get lost in the sauce. Williams accepted a deal, admitting guilt to a lesser charge of making criminal threats. The deal included gun safety classes, community service, and probationary conditions that could potentially reduce the charges from a felony to a misdemeanor. All his legal worries were behind him, and he could finally play the sport that vaulted him into the spotlight. A nightmarish way to begin college was starting to head in the right direction. By January 2024, Mikey decided to enter the transfer portal. Eventually committing to the University of Central Florida, the highly touted recruit would finally be able to get back on the court. Mikey posted a short message on IG that all he needed was a chance, and that chance was gifted by Coach Dawkins and the university, who was featured in the Big 12, one of the nation's most coveted college basketball conferences. His head coach was quoted saying, "He's been a joy to coach, and that's what it's about, giving young people second chances. And this young man is a teenager, and things happen, unfortunately, in our lives. And if we were in a world where no one got second chances, I don't know where any of us would be right now. And so I'm just really proud of the university for taking that type of stand." Mikey himself during his UCF media day said that a big part of the decision to go there was Coach Dawkins and the coaching staff believing in him from day one. Finally, it seemed like Mikey was back on the right track at a school that wanted him despite the adversity he faced from his senior year. The season began with 2 exhibition games where Mikey was still trying to find his footing, especially after missing an entire year away from basketball for the first time in a very long time, possibly ever. Those exhibition games, he scored 5 points against Florida Gulf Coast University and 9 points against the University of Georgia. What made things more unfortunate is that he missed the beginning of the season with a foot injury. The beginning of the season is where most freshmen or first-time D1 players will struggle, but it's how quickly they adapt. Mikey already started behind in Memphis and continued with an unfortunate injury. Still, many fans like myself believe he's an NBA talent. His freshman year at UCF did not go as planned by many fans and scouts. He only played 18 games, starting in 5 of them, while averaging only 14 minutes per game. He averaged 5 points on 37% from the field, 28% from 3, and 80% from the line. There were times in the season where he looked comfortable, especially in the month of February, where he scored a season high of 14 points twice in the span of a week against the number 10 ranked Iowa State and Oklahoma State. That same Oklahoma State game saw him have a season high in rebounds with 7. His game was coming together, hitting 3 threes in the game at TCU during the first week of March, which ultimately became his final game before he was shut down for the season. His freshman year coming to an end only proved that he may need a couple more years in college to find his footing, which isn't bad or what he used to be. He is certain to be one of the top NIL prospects during his college tenure. It's also important to note that there were no disciplinary absences from the team or eligibility issues. The 19 games missed were due to injuries, limiting his time on the court. Missing more than half the season can hinder the development of a player, especially a freshman. His role fluctuating could be the reason why his efficiency was mixed. 28% from the 3 seems a bit uncharacteristic for a player of his stature. After that season, Mikey decided to enter the transfer portal again. It was reported that a wide range of schools were in pursuit of the talented guard. UNLV and Memphis, along with a range of Power 4 and mid-majors. He ultimately decided to commit to the new-look Sacramento State Hornets. Coached by retired NBA point guard Mike Bibby, along with the backing of Shaquille O'Neal as a GM, Sacramento State seemed poised to be the mid-major program that could put Mikey's name back on those draft boards. So far this season, Mikey has been playing at a good pace, seemingly getting more comfortable game by game. His college career is still young, so like any other young guard, he has experienced some bad games. In the games I've watched, he's typically been the best player on the court and the most electrifying. The first game of the season, he scored a modest 10 points and 6 assists, along with 2 turnovers. A 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio as a freshman is great, but nonetheless not the first-round potential we have seen from him. It was a 30-point outing in his third game against a respectable opponent in UC Santa Barbara that revived his name. He has had some ups and downs during the season, scoring under 10 points in 3 consecutive games early in November, against formidable opponents like UCLA and Cal, along with San Francisco State. This season, he is currently averaging 16 points and 5 assists. If he can keep that up, there will be high major schools looking for his services next year. Most notably, he had his second 30-point game of the year against Idaho State. These scoring outbursts he can provide will need to translate to wins, or scouts may begin to look at it as empty stats. However, putting up 34 points against a D1 opponent in an efficient manner could supersede the winning. He scored 34 on 56% from the field and 42% from 3. That's the first-round talent we all expect to see from Mikey. Players today are so talented that you can find a diamond in the rough anywhere. I think this approach could work, going to a mid-major and dominating the conference like Damian Lillard did at Weber State or CJ McCollum at Lehigh. With all the transferring, another option I could see is him transferring to a bigger school each year with an expanded role. Playing at a bigger school would increase his chance of making the NCAA tournament, and those runs could really help fringe first-round players become lottery picks. Competing on a big stage on a nightly basis will remind the scouts and GMs he can be effective on any level. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe.